Welcome to the Explainer. Okay, I want you to picture something for me really quick. Imagine a high-end, fast-paced fashion runway. You know, flashing lights, designer clothes, constant motion. Now hold that thought and contrast it with the cracked, dry, totally exhausted agricultural soils that often produce those exact same garments. It's kind of jarring, right? It's an uncomfortable contrast for sure. But today, we're going to dive into exactly how the textile industry is trying to fix it.
So let me ask you, have you ever actually thought about what your clothes are made of? Because right now, brands, retailers, and consumers are really waking up to this. We're seeing a massive wave of market demand for sustainable textiles. People are literally changing how they shop based on environmental impact. And to meet this demand, the industry is turning to this incredible solution called regenerative cotton.
Here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, we'll cover the 5 pillars of regenerative farming. Second, clearing up cotton confusion. Third, market and brand opportunities. And finally, the future of global impact. All right, so what exactly is regenerative cotton? Basically, it's a farming approach that actively restores soil health, conserves water, and promotes biodiversity. And it goes way beyond your basic organic practices. See, we aren't just trying to minimize harm here. The whole point is that regenerative farming actively improves the ecological functions of the farm. We're talking about leaving the land significantly better than we found it.
Section 1. The 5 pillars of regenerative farming, building a resilient ecosystem.
Pillar number 1 is soil health. Instead of pumping the ground full of synthetic fertilizers and pesticides, regenerative farming tries to eliminate them entirely. Farmers use really clever natural practices, things like crop rotation, cover cropping, and composting. This natural approach completely supercharges the soil's fertility and structure from the ground up.
Next up, we have water conservation. And this perfectly illustrates how smart management can change everything. Regenerative farmers use techniques like drip irrigation and rainwater harvesting. Plus, those cover crops we just mentioned, they actually help retain moisture in the soil, which literally stops evaporation in its tracks. And in an age where water scarcity is a huge issue, this kind of efficiency is an absolute game changer.
Pillar 3 is biodiversity promotion. Think about it. Instead of just miles and miles of the exact same plant, regenerative agriculture creates a vibrant, diverse ecosystem. By planting a variety of species, including specific flowers that attract beneficial insects, the farm naturally supports pollinators and natural pest control. It's this beautiful balance that drastically cuts down the need for chemical pesticides.
Now, Pillar 4 introduces a massive climate mitigation tactic, carbon sequestration. Through practices like reduced tillage, we're actually building up the organic matter in the ground. This literally turns the soil into a massive carbon sink. It captures atmospheric carbon dioxide and stores it straight into the earth. So we're actively fighting climate change while growing the materials for our clothes. How cool is that? And finally, Pillar 5, social and economic well-being. Because we literally can't forget about the people here. This approach fundamentally prioritizes fair labor practices, community involvement, and the long-term economic survival of the farmers themselves. It ensures that the people who grow our textiles are thriving right alongside the ecosystem. Section 2. Clearing up cotton confusion. What's the real difference? So on one side, you have conventional cotton. It relies heavily on monoculture farming, which makes it super vulnerable to pests. It requires heavy irrigation, and it uses synthetic fertilizers that totally degrade the soil. On the other side, regenerative cotton just flips the script. It uses crop rotation to build resilience, minimizes water usage by harvesting rain, and get this, while conventional farming actually emits heavy greenhouse gases through chemical processing, regenerative farming captures carbon. It is a complete 180-degree shift in how we farm. Now, you might hear the words sustainable and regenerative thrown around as if they mean the same thing, but there's a big difference. Sustainable cotton focuses on minimizing negative impacts. It's about doing less bad, using less water, fewer chemicals. But regenerative cotton, that's a much more advanced stage. It actively restores and enhances the ecosystem. It aims to create a completely self-sustaining system that leaves the environment richer and healthier.
Section 3. Market and brand opportunities. The business case for regeneration.
Big global agro-businesses, companies like Cargill, are seriously paying attention. They've explicitly noted an increased market demand for regeneratively grown cotton that actively rewards growers for their soil health practices. This is huge.
It shows that global giants are taking real action to meet exploding consumer demand by building programs that actually financially incentivize farmers to adopt these exact practices.
So what's in it for the brands selling us these clothes? Well, a lot. They get to step up as true sustainability leaders. They can offer incredible supply chain transparency, literally tracking your garment from the farm directly to the store. This allows them to stand out in a super crowded market. And because consumers really value this ecological benefit, brands can build deep trust, and yeah, they can even command premium pricing.
But let's be real for a second. It's not all perfectly smooth sailing. There are definitely roadblocks ahead. Transitioning away from conventional farming requires a massive investment of time and money from the farmers. The transition costs are very real. On top of that, there's a huge need for ongoing consumer education, and the industry desperately needs standardized certifications to prove this transparency is real and not just some marketing gimmick.
That brings us to our final section, Section 4, the future of global impact, aligning with UN Sustainable Development Goals.
First up, regenerative farming directly tackles UN Sustainable Development Goal 13, climate action. By increasing soil organic matter and acting as a carbon sink, these farms are quite literally pulling greenhouse gases right out of the atmosphere.
It also actively supports Goal 6, clean water and sanitation. Conventional farming is kind of notorious for toxic chemical runoff that pollutes local waterways. But with regenerative agriculture, the minimized water usage and strict lack of toxic runoff mean we're protecting our vital aquatic ecosystems and ensuring clean water for local communities.
And of course, this shift aligns perfectly with Goal 12, responsible consumption and production. It creates this beautiful circular economy. It totally challenges the old chemically intensive methods, replacing them with responsible production that minimizes waste and utilizes natural cycles. Basically, ensuring we aren't destroying the earth just to wear a t-shirt.
So, what's the big takeaway from all this? We're literally looking at a paradigm shift. Cotton production is moving from being a depleting force to a regenerative force. It's the transformative power of restoring ecosystems instead of just extracting from them. By changing how we grow our textiles, we're actively improving the long-term resilience and overall health of our planet.
I want to leave you with one final thought. Now that you know the true cost and the massive potential of your clothes, how's it going to change what you buy? The power to drive this regenerative revolution is quite literally in your wallet. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.